5 Wide. Presented by Quick Trip's quality gasoline guarantee. It's just another way Quick Trip has you covered.
9 to noon, ready to go. We are 5 Wide. Billy Schmid, John Kuhn, Armin Sarian. Boys, the wreckage is smoldering. We're staring at it. We're picking through it. I don't even know where to begin. It's one of those days. This is what you sign up for, isn't it, as a sports fan?
Better believe it. This is why we love it, right?
No, that's not why I love it.
What? Feel alive and then get sent right back down crashing.
The lows make the highs better.
Pay big money for feelings like this.
That's a good point. So the lows make the highs better is what you're trying to say.
Damn right.
I'll go with that.
I guess.
The thing
Armin,
about it.
you are,
Yeah, go ahead.
You are positioned as sort of the super fan on the station, but I really think Billy is every bit the super fan and more because he's been so involved at such a granular level with so many teams in our market. Ball boy for the Bucks.
Mm-hmm.
You've been to 1 million Brewers games. Did you work at Brewers games, Billy? At one point?
No, I did not. Just solely as a fan.
Armin and I worked
as a fan, but you worked as a ball boy. Josh, you worked at the Brewers.
Yeah.
In
So did
their
Armin.
team store, correct?
Yeah.
Armin did as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not at the same time, though.
No, we just missed each other.
Which is kind of
Billy,
funny.
how do you, as a guy who lives it, breathes it, loves it, dies it, how do you process last night? How do you process what happened?
I think you start to process it in waves, right? It's the stages of grief. The acceptance part of it is going to be the most difficult one for, I think, a lot of them. Zaben, you've done this a long time. When you lose 9 of 10 playoff games, that spans almost now a half decade. It's difficult to not clump all together, but Christian Yelich mentioned it last night. There's like 5 guys on this team that were on the 2018 team, right? Like to think that there's a bunch of dudes that are all still here together and still fighting, and they've gone through all these together. A huge portion of that lineup card last night wasn't here for any of those other failures.
Okay. That's a good question. Is 5 guys still here from 5 years ago a lot or not many?
I think it's a
I'm
lot.
not sure how to look at it.
These
What
days
do you
in
guys think?
pro sports these days, I don't know. It's not that.
No, I don't think it's a crazy amount.
You think it's not very many, Billy, and you may be right. I kind of would think that's a fair amount of guys who have been part of this. Kuhn, what do you think?
I think it's right about. Well, actually, I think it might be low. At first, I thought this might be the perfect number, but when you consider, everybody in the bullpen and everything, 5, yeah, I agree. I agree with you, Billy. Actually, 5's not that many, and you can almost understand now why you got to struggle. You got to struggle before you reach that pinnacle, and maybe the majority of these guys didn't struggle enough yet.
Well, and what they haven't done, guys, is
burgers.
while they're trying to rebuild while competing, again, which Major League Baseball does not like. They enjoy teams like the Baltimore Orioles that lose for 7 straight years and watch their team pick in 5th. 4th overall, 7th overall. Holy cow, they're really good. 9th overall. They were almost out of the bottom 3rd in all of baseball. Now they get the number 1 pick.
And now they're the darling. Now they're the darling.
And now they're the darling because they don't pay that much.
But they didn't win.
But they have all these young guys, and they're the number 1 overall seed, and they're going to get celebrated across all of the national networks. While you have to rebuild in this market with 3 rookies on your opening day lineup card, while then going and winning a division with 90 plus wins. I mean, that is where, for a team that's had, in an organization that's had this level of success, to have that turnover, I do think it's a little
yeah.
low.
And I say the struggle can be different, Billy. You look at the Orioles, and their struggle was far different. Their struggle was being laughable for nearly a decade, right? And the Brewers' struggles are different. And sometimes when you struggle in the playoffs, you are gaining that valuable experience in the playoffs, but you're not reaping the rewards of being absolutely toilet bowl bad. So that's all. Both roads are equally hard, but in different fashions.
Yeah,
the Orioles are an interesting case because their 2 best players, Adley Rutschman, their catcher, and Gunnar Henderson, their shortstop, are young guys who can really hit. Now, here's the thing. They were good for a hot minute in 2018 because I actually went to their playoff game when they beat the Tigers.
They had a wild card team, right?
Who is he's a diehard Orioles fan, right? So it's not been that long, but if Armin, the Orioles make a run, and if, God forbid, they're in the World Series, that will make the Brewers' loss, I think, sting even more
Nah,
because they would have done
I'm with
something.
Armin.
but hold
that
on.
we
Go
didn't.
ahead. Go ahead.
You
Yes.
don't think seeing the Orioles do something that we can't do?
The Orioles
would
aren't even in
sting?
my, but they're not in my universe. The Orioles. I don't care.
But
I
they're,
mean,
they're the same team. They're the
No,
ones trying to
well,
hit the inside straight
They
like
are
the Brewers
in
are.
2011.
Of 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of clubs
but
inside straight
but
to
they're
get to
not-
the World Series.
they're not this. They're not this. They were the
Yes.
best record in the American League. So
Preach, Armin.
they had a great team. They deserve to be there. They're just like the Brewers in 2011. I don't mind
best
when the
record
teams,
in the toughest neighborhood.
So then why
With
shouldn't
the
they win?
biggest
I would-
battleship opponents.
Then they
Right.
should win. That right?
It's not a fair comparison
I'd
to this
feel
Brewers
wor-
team at all.
I'd feel worse if another 80-some 4-win team like the Diamondbacks or somebody else like that strolled into the World Series when they really had
What
a
if the
bad
Twins
year.
do?
All right.
At
Or the
87 wins.
Twins. I'm
Would
not,
Diamondbacks World
this
Series?
is not to defend the Brewers. I'm just, if you're asking me what would bother me more, I never liked expanded playoffs because I think teams that earn it more are you have to be in the same raffle as everybody else. So because of that, I'm always cheering for better records in the playoffs, in baseball playoffs, except of course when it's the Brewers. I'm obviously cheering for the Brewers, number one. But hey, listen.
Okay. So I guess I'm the only one that thinks that if the Orioles get all the way to the World Series, that it would sting more because they're the small market team that could, when we're the small market team that can't.
I don't think
But
there's a
they're
great
the small
comparison.
market team that found a way to do it at the time. They're what the Royals did in 2015. They're what the Brewers almost did in 2011.
Maybe, Josh, it should give us hope. Maybe it should give us hope that this is possible.
Well,
It
I don't
just
give
didn't
up.
work.
I don't give up hope.
It's
We just lost.
the thing is that and I don't know this for sure, but I would think that if you talk to Orioles fans right now, they wouldn't say that they are in bites of the apple mode. That's the difference. It's been
They
we keep
bottomed
They've
out.
also
giving
been
ourselves.
hungry.
So you want them to build great, the
Shots.
Brewers to build great teams
Okay.
instead of have bites
Armin,
of the
you
apple.
say you don't give up hope. I'm here to tell you there's many Brewer fans who feel hopeless.
Trust me, I know that. I've been talking to them, listening to them. They're all my friends. Everyone around me, everyone sitting around me at games, all the people tweeting at me, absolutely just
But there's-
making fun of me for not giving up last night.
But
Just
there's
making fun of
something-
me.
There's something more honorable in the way that the Brewers do it because they go out every year and try to succeed. They don't tank.
Of course there is.
That's why we had such a problem with the Josh Hader trade last year because for the first time it looked like we might not have been tanking, but we were selling in an opportunity when we were in
question.
first place.
I
So
agree.
the
Question,
Brewers
do you
do
wanna
it in a
try
more
to tank?
honorable way. No,
Billy?
hell no. I never want to
No,
tank.
you
Try
don't.
and win every game. Try and win
Billy,
every
you don't
game. And
wanna
if it
tank?
puts you
No.
in purgatory, then you're in purgatory. But at least you're in purgatory as a man trying to win.
Why would I want to try and lose
Right.
that? I don't understand that.
Right.
People, we got caught into
You
this
don't
thinking.
understand it?
No,
I'll tell you
hold
why.
on, Zay. We got caught
It
into
works.
this. It doesn't work.
It doesn't not in
It doesn't
baseball. It's
work.
not the same in baseball.
Just because you pull out one
I'll
example.
give you 4 examples. The Orioles are one. The Royals were one. The Astros, the Nationals, all 4 of those franchises had back-to-back 100-loss seasons. The Mariners
But
could
that-
be another team.
So
in
you're
there.
claiming that's
This
the
is
reason
the
they won the
route.
World Series? That's the reason they won the World Series? They won the World Series because when they had their good teams, they happened to play well in those playoff games, and they made runs. A lot of 100-win teams didn't do that too.
There
It doesn't
are many
prove
people
tanking
who
works.
believe, well, there are many people who believe the only road for the small to mid markets to really go far is to go through purgatory.
Well, that's a
No,
flawed
you
premise.
don't-
I'm sorry.
You don't believe that. You don't believe that. Billy doesn't believe that. Kuhn doesn't believe that. I think there's strong evidence to say that probably is the only road.
Put it in terms of poker though. Okay. So it's if you keep getting decent hands and you're going, all right, well, this is a good hand. I might be able to win with this. And that keeps happening. You never know when the right time to go all in is, right? That's still it's a risk. It's a chance. In baseball, different than other sports, teams, especially mid-market teams, they have to, okay, this is the year. This is the guy. We're gonna sign this guy. We're gonna go all in and give ourselves the best shot right now. And the Brewers have just been consistently right there. And we as fans have been saying, but now sign that big guy, go all in, make this the time. And since 2018, that hasn't happened.
Because they did try it, guys, in 2011. They went as all in as you possibly
Correct.
could.
Yep,
Correct.
thank you.
And it hamstrung the organization for 4 years.
You're,
That's why
you're
they
right.
don't want to do it.
You're
Because if they
right.
want to do it, they could do it this upcoming year.
They could have
don't,
done it.
Don't get rid of Burns. Woodruff you have.
Go grab
get a
Pete
bat.
Alonso and trade 4 pieces for him.
Bingo. And you could do it this year. And it's possible. But they're not going to do that because, like you said, Billy, it hamstrung for 4 years
What-
when they tried to do that.
Once you get in the playoffs, unless you, I mean, you do get the bye if you're one of the top division winners. You need to play well those days anyway, right? Even if you're well equipped to do it, you still need those outcomes to go your way anyway. So the Brewers won 92 games. They won 96 a couple years ago. That's as good. That's as good as this franchise has ever done in one season. 96. Okay, so what do you want? Say 98 wins instead, or 100? Are they more equipped because they won 4 more games over 6 months to win in the playoffs?
But here's the thing. You
I
guys
am not advocating for it. I am asking your belief in, is this the only road to glory for markets of our size?
I believe it's the most
And your
honorable
answer-
way. I believe it's the most honorable
That's the
way.
best way of saying
tank.
it,
Don't
John.
tank for me. Don't tank for me as a
Okay.
fan. Don't tank for me as a player. Don't tank for me as a manager. Don't give me that. You go out to win every single damn game. And if you start tanking because you're pulling back weapons and arsenal, then shame on you. Then shame on you.
I reject the honorable argument. I do not think it's dishonorable to tank.
To ask people for their money for 162 games, 81 of those at home, every single year, where your organization payroll is so firmly desperate for your money to walk into the gates, and you're going to say, I'm
Right.
going to lose?
More than that, Zabe,
Yes.
it's not dishonorable to tank. Look at what the Texans did last year. Look at what they did last year. And karma
Hold
came
that
back
thought.
and karma came back around for them for not
Yes.
tanking.
Yep.
Because look, they got the better of the rookie quarterbacks.
Yep.
That could be an argument to be made. Can we put football aside because I treat football different?
Sure,
I
okay.
agree. I
Now, why is
agree.
it different? Sports.
No,
The-
no,
at the-
no,
at the-
no,
at the-
no, no,
at
no,
the base
no,
model,
no,
sports are sports,
no,
and you play to
no.
win every game. Yes.
No.
Do you not play every
No.
game to win?
Dude,
Not when you have
Dude,
the
you don't-
richest owner
not in
who can just
baseball.
go
You
buy
could not
whatever
You
be
he
don't, you
wrong
wants.
don't
about
play
this.
baseball to win every game. You don't play basketball to win every game. Well, maybe not with low management, but you get my
I'll tell
point.
you all the reasons.
But
I'll
it's-
tell you all the
yeah.
reasons it's different. There's a hard cap in football when everyone's equal, unlike baseball.
Yep.
And one player in football
Zabe's going to talk
can
you guys
absolutely-
into business up and down, but at the heart of it, it is sports and the players
it's
and
not,
the
it's
managers and the
different.
coaches.
This
They
is
want to win every
Yeah, I
game.
get it. I get
And
it.
if
They
you-
play
and
their
if you-
hardest. As a fan,
The
I'm
people that are on the roster play the hardest, but you control who's on your roster in football and in basketball.
Precisely.
You don't have to play
Comparing-
guys. So the
Precisely.
guy-
And that notion right there exonerates the owners that say, you know what, we're going to sell our good players and bring in prospects, and this is what we're going to do for years and years and years until we finally have a moment that we think is an opportunity to jump. That is scared. That is weak.
Back to Billy's point, you're asking people to pay money for a product that you know is intentionally going to be bad. I get it. That is a tough look at times. But if people still want to come and give that money as a patronage, as an homage, as a donation in kind for fandom, believing in the process, sorry to use that term because it invokes the awful Sixers process.
yeah.
But if fans want to voluntarily spend their money to go to Brewer games, knowing they're going to be bad, but they've got a plan to get good, then they can do that. The fans can do that.
But
I have no problem with that.
oh yeah, I mean, why would you? But I have
No.
more of a problem with the organization doing it and asking for the money, knowing that you are putting an inferior product on the field with zero guarantee that the return is worth it. Zabe, I'd love to go through some of the top 10 picks that if you do this tanking deal of what the Milwaukee Brewers would have acquired. Just look back at the last 20 years of top 10 picks that the Brewers have had in the organization. They've had some good ones, right? Ricky Weeks, Ryan Braun was the
Yep.
6th overall pick. Prince Fielder almost
Higher,
20
maybe.
years ago
Prince was 8th, I think.
was 8th overall. As of late,
Let's talk about him.
let's talk about Corey Ray, who is now a minor league bench coach.
Minor league manager.
He was
yeah.
the 6th overall pick in 2016. Keston Hira. Did we hear from Keston Hira? 9th overall pick
Well, that's
in
an
2017.
That's an interesting
no,
one.
but
No.
these are all. This is the
This
point.
is
yeah.
the issue. Eric Arnett's
I
taken 2
understand
picks
there's
in
no
front of
guarantee.
Mike Trout.
Mike Rogers,
There is-
Mike Jones, Mark Rogers.
There's
JM
zero
Gold.
guarantee that any of this works, especially when your organization has whiffed in the first round consistently at the top of the draft.
I
Well, we've
understand.
talked for 15 minutes and we've not yet once mentioned Craig Counsell.
Well,
Right.
Butchie.
Like, I'm
Just-
sorry, 1-8 since 2018. There has to, like, we fired Bud, we got rid of McCarthy. Why is
No,
he
he
going to
got
pass?
some.
It doesn't
Because
matter.
he's really good manager.
It
I'm
doesn't
sorry.
matter at all.
No, because he's
Managers
not going
don't
to be managing this team.
You don't know that. I'm not giving up. I'm not
Like
giving
Josh,
up.
that's been your take all day.
I'm not giving up.
That's been your
Armin
take.
thinks
Armin
thinks
is in
he
the
can still get a
2%
new
that thinks there's a
contract to
chance
manage.
that he's managing this team.
I mean,
He's either retiring to watch his kids play baseball or he's going to New York. Either way, he's not in the dugout at American Family Field. So whether it's his fault or we're going to get rid of him or not.
Real quick,
we want
is
you
he
back,
under
Greg, if
Is he
you're out
under
there.
contract next year, Billy?
Right
No,
now,
no.
he's not.
We want you
So
back.
you can't fire somebody that's not under contract.
But the contract's there.
The conversation's done.
But you don't. You can very simple not have him back.
Not
If he
choose.
wants to be back as the Brewers, he'll be back as the Brewers manager. That's been clear. That's
You're
been
saying
said.
sign someone else.
Matt
Bush.
Arnold flat out said that.
Yeah, you're saying
Okay,
if they
and
sign
when
someone
he
else.
does, I will sit here and listen to you have this conversation of
that's
is it the
fine.
right decision?
Josh, you haven't wanted
It's
to
not
listen to
gonna
this
happen.
conversation all day.
Right, because it's
So
dumb.
but the point is 1-8 over the last 9 games is a real thing. Like people want to point at
You're
this
right.
and say it's a small market and this and that. Craig Counsell has not delivered in postseason. That's
All right,
facts.
then we won't build
Has
the
he?
statute.
Hold
we
on
won't
here.
build the
Hold on
statute.
here, Brian. Has he not delivered, or have his best players not delivered?
No,
Bam.
did
Both
you
can
see
be
him out
true,
there
Hold
in
on
game
here.
one?
Hold on here.
Billy,
In-
both
bam.
can be true.
Okay.
Talk about the
but
decisions he
let's
didn't
go
make.
through with
Winker?
what ones are more important.
One here.
What about Corbin Burns?
Corbin
didn't-
Burns,
didn't
right?
you see
Do
Counsell go and
But do you
pitch
need
in
to
the
go?
fourth?
Did Corbin Burns need to come back out the third after what he's done? Third time around.
Yeah, damn right he did.
I'm
absolutely.
just saying they're all decisions, Billy. That's one of many.
Yeah, but Brian,
Not having Rowdy Tellez on the. I mean, they're I'm not. Both can be true, Billy. I'm not disagreeing
Yeah.
with players,
yeah,
but you have to come to and agree that both are true.
sure.
Yeah, but you never know about the coach if the players trump him before it even gets to
I
that
don't-
level.
Yeah, John, I don't know how good of a manager Torey Lovello is. I'll be honest with you. What I do know is Zach Gallen grabbed right in between the legs yesterday and said, "Let me drop this squarely on the pitcher's mound for the next 5
And
innings."
I don't disagree there. But you can't-
35 pitches in the first inning and goes on out and gasses you for 5 more innings when his bullpen was just as taxed as yours was. That's
Not
what his
just-
Cy Young
not
Award
just
winner
that.
did.
Carroll is a heartbreaker. He comes out here
Ripped ya.
and he is now my number. He is on my list. I mean, you talk
Should
about your
Freddie
list.
have
He's
been
on
left
my
in
list.
for
I
the
can't
third
stand
time
him
around?
for all the plays he made against us in these 2 games.
That one, Butchie, I do believe he should have. Do I think Abner Uribe should have been the move that they
Well,
pulled for him? No,
That's the move
that
that
one
was
I
made.
don't.
That's
I
the move that was
yes,
made.
yes.
So both can be true, right? Because Uribe goes in and it's say he gasses, he gets out. Hey, now that makes Counsell look great too. Like both can be true. That's my point.
Yeah, but where is the overwhelming majority of the issue? It's with the talent on the roster, not the guy moving around the chess
think
pieces
this
of the
team-
The guys that
25,
are still
26
under
man
contract
roster.
I mean,
and
let-
going to be
let-
here in
let's-
2020.
I just think the
Let's
outcome
be honest.
didn't work
Burns,
out.
let's be honest. Burns failed.
Big time.
Freddie failed. Devin Williams failed.
You
Woodruff
put
didn't
Devin
play.
in that
Woodruff didn't
situation.
even
pitch.
play. And I was told all year this team was built around pitching and defense. And it was the pitching that let him down.
And you know who didn't let him down, guys? You know who didn't let him down?
11 men left on base and 9 men left on base. Cool.
No, I
I'm
agree.
not-
I agree,
Oh,
I
but
agree
they-
with that.
I'm not
I
gonna
agree
say
with
it was
that. But
the
what's the
pitching that let him
strength?
down.
What's the strength? No, the strength of this team let them down.
The reason they won was
weren't
pitching.
good. They weren't
Right.
good at hitting all year.
Right.
Because you would have said the same thing if Aaron Rodgers would have came out in a playoff game and thrown a pick and throw 1 touchdown, 1 interception,
'Cause he
was
was supposed to be the
19 of
reason.
35
'Cause
because
he's the
he was
reason.
supposed to be the reason
Yeah.
you advanced.
Sure.
The pitching staff was supposed to be the reason you advanced. Any Christian Yelich haters out there this
Yeah,
morning?
not Yelich. He was 4
Real
for 8.
quiet on that
He was
front.
4 for 8 in
Yeah.
this series. 4 for 8. Just saying,
Text
2
for
walks.
saying-
With a bunt.
With a bunt.
He
Yeah,
kept
he
him
tried
alive.
to spark that
He also
crowd
he
big time
loved
last
He
night.
also didn't give up when everyone else. He didn't give up last night. He had the bunt single, put him in a rally. He had the double to keep him alive and put their best power hitter at a chance to tie the game.
He's
He
off
didn't
the
give
watch
up.
list.
He was never on mine.
Todd,
Never.
Oh, Jesus.
Never
That was
Wow. There's something.
He was never on mine.
Interesting.
Todd
Because
from
I'm
the-
not a casual.
Todd from the
all right?
920.
I
Todd
know
from the
ball.
920 says, Zay, would you be okay with a car company saying we're going to put a horrible product out there and want you to buy it so we can come up with a better product 5 years from now? That's the worst analogy ever.
Yeah, I don't like that
Stick to
either.
baseball. Stick to baseball.
like that
This is
analogy.
not a car
No.
company. This is
What?
not something that could kill you by driving it. This is a specific sport. I don't think
It
tanking
could kill
works
you
in the
by
NFL.
watching, Zabe.
Yeah.
Have you watched the Orioles the last 5 years? Ask some of their fans if it killed them.
Can I say one more?
Listen to Mike Keller, how much Brewers baseball contributed to last
with
January.
I'm going to play golf with 3 of the hardest core Oriole fans that I know, and I'll ask them, was this 5-year journey
Well, you're
worth?
going to ask them why they're on an ecstasy pill, right? Right now, that team is on fire, and they're all just living life, and
And where do we
they're
get
loving
some?
it.
But the
So
point
You're
is,
saying
you're going to ask
you're
them at a tainted
saying-
time. Ask them.
you're-
Don't if they lose in the playoffs.
What if they get swept?
Then ask them
They
what's the
could
tanking
lose.
worth it.
They could. Here's the thing.
this
You're
is a
saying-
raffle.
You're saying
Raffle.
you're saying that you would not trade 5 years of bad baseball for a World Series.
I would, but you can't make that
You
guarantee.
can't
to me.
guarantee
Right.
that.
I'm not.
If
But
that- if
to
that's
answer
fine,
your
not
a
question,
chance.
you
Not a
bet your
chance.
ass I would.
All right, Zabe. Then I want the.
But if I-
Josh and Armin got to go to a
87,
playoff
Josh
game.
would-
I want the
If I
87,
tell
the
you-
93, the 98 World Series, the 03, because those are all 5-year stretches of my Brewer fandom. I remember. I want 08. I want the 14-year back. You can't just say out every 5 years you're getting one.
But to answer your question, if you could guarantee it,
I hate you.
I would do it in a heartbeat.
Wow.
I want them to get one, and they need to get one. That's why fans are so frustrated. We've been so close. Give us one. I want one.
Josh told me he'd rather have one World Series than $5 champ. What did you say? $5
Yep.
champ. I thought that was wild. That was a
Stand
wild.
by.
take.
What did he ask for? I still don't understand. What
He
did
said. He
ask?
said.
I want one World Series
And $5?
win.
He said he'd
over
rather-
$5 championship.
He said he would trade in
Milwaukee
5
Bucks
potential
NBA
Bucks
championships.
championships. I wouldn't first. That's 5
Exit
championships.
question. Exit question. Describe the season in one word or one sentence. I said it was a disaster with a T-shirt. What is your one-word description of this entire season for the Milwaukee Brewers, your NL Central champion?
I said tread water, then drown.
That's like 14 words. Did you say one word?
I thought it was one word.
He said one word,
one
one sentence.
sentence.
That's 4 words.
He said one word or
Some
one
texter
sentence.
said it was like the
Here's
movie. They said it was like the movie Open Water, where the divers got left by the boat, and they just had to sit there and bob until the sharks ate them. I'm like, that's gruesome.
pretty similar to mine. Yeah.
I'd say unexpected.
Describe the season. Billy Kuhn, Armin, go. Boom.
Step
word.
ladder of success. Thanks, Giannis.
Okay. Step ladder. I love it. Positive. Kuhn. The season
Unexpected.
was. Okay. Armin, the season was.
Wistful. There's my number word. Wistful.
Wistful.
Yeah, it seems like an Armin answer.
You wanted a word, and I gave you one.
He said a word or sentence. Listen to what the man said.
I love this guy.
Tough breaks. And no one's gonna want to hear that. It wasn't tough breaks. They didn't play well enough.
Tag you're at
Wistful.
9 to noon. Are your new therapists for the next 3 hours. Enjoy, boys.
The same.
And we'll see everyone tomorrow.